Just wanted another video on the Inside Spurs show. Happy Sunday morning. Hope you enjoy the weekend. The weather is looking pretty decent out there. Hope you're looking forward to a good day ahead. Obviously, there's some decent football on yesterday. There's quite a few goals actually in the Premier League. Obviously, Luton and Brentford, I think was 5-1 in the end. Burnley winning, was it 4-1 against Sheffield United, which is massive, by the way, in the bottom sort of relegation race. That's huge swings for goal difference and points. Obviously, had the FA Cup semi-final, Man City beating Chelsea. Always good to see that. Never bad to see Chelsea lose, I can tell you that. Obviously, some good football on today. There's some more Premier League. There was Arsenal playing yesterday. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that. Arsenal played yesterday as well. Obviously, good football on today. So if you're enjoying it, make sure to sync one for me as well, all right? Talking in this video around a new report on Conor Gallagher's situation, just give you a bit of an update on that, as well as I forgot to mention the other day around a new contract being handed out to Brandon Austin, so we'll get a bit of an update on that, as well as a little bit of injury news on both the fullbacks, a little bit of good, and there's a little bit of bad. So plenty to get into, plenty to talk about. Just want to say though, if you're new, give subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the well, I've got it here, actually. I'll start with this one because I've got it here. It's the Brandon Austin news. Kevin Alistair said that understand Spurs have held talks with Brandon Austin over signing a contract extension. With those club-trained homegrown issues I recently spoke about, this makes sense. He's been on the bench 33 times in the past 2 seasons and is well regarded. Now, I've spoken about how, Spurs need homegrown players, but they also need academy-trained players and things like that. That the academy side of things, don't worry too much. That's more of a Europe side of things. But just for the Premier League side of things, we need more homegrown players, right? This makes a ton of sense. And do you know what? He actually might be quite decent. We haven't really seen enough of him to kind of say if he's good, rubbish, or anything in between. But if he's half decent, that's our backup keeper sorted. And I'm not opposed to someone coming through the setup being the backup goalkeeper. I like Fraser Forster still being in the setup as well. I like that homegrown option as well. He's good experience, good in the locker room. He's got European experience. A lot of our players don't, and he does. So I like him being as well in there. And it just makes a lot of sense. So hopefully this is not something that drags on and we have to worry about, we got to get a new homegrown player in the summer. We can focus on what we need to focus on. You got Austin, what happens with Cess? You've got obviously Skippy in the midfield, what happens with him? You got Madison as well. Obviously, I'm blanking here. There's probably more, but I'm absolutely blanking. But that's why you see a Dane Scarlett. That's why you may see a Jamie Donnelly more next season, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think we've all been watching Jamie Donnelly recently and gone, he's quite good. He's absolutely cooking it in the unders setup. Obviously, Mikey Moore training with the first team, 16 years old, 12 years my junior. It's unbelievable. So, not a bad thing whatsoever. Right, I want to talk about the Conor Gallagher report now. So it came from Team Talk and said that Tottenham have been given a major transfer boost after it emerged that Chelsea are increasingly likely to sell Conor Gallagher in the summer with contract talks at a total standstill. They talk about how Chelsea have asked him to lower his wage demands or face being sold in the summer. It's supposedly that he wants a salary of more than £150,000 per week, far in excess of what Chelsea are prepared to pay. Now, I want to think about this because I thought he played well yesterday against Chelsea. Lots of energy, good pressing, good on the ball, actually. I think one thing I've noticed recently, he's not been great on the ball. I thought yesterday he was quite decent with the ball. He was playing this sort of weird inverted left wing thing, which, yeah, I think that was more of a Kyle Walker's so quick. We're having issues there. So I think one thing I would say is on Conor Gallagher, 150 plus a week. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I know Madison's on about 150 grand a week, but Sonny's on, I think it was close to 200 grand a week. It's a lot of money. And I think the one thing I think the fan base will say is a lot of money. Is he going to be starting? Is he going to be starting enough? And I get that, to be honest. I do get that. I think we need a 6 more than anything, unless they move Lo Celso, then I'm sitting there thinking we need a 6 and a 10. Because I want to be able to, look, I want a guy who can play a bit of 10, who can play a bit of wing. So that's why I talk about an Eze, right? That's why people like Danny Olmo. But then you can sprinkle in the Burval, you can sprinkle in the Donleys and so on. Especially with potentially Europa League next year, it will be the competition that you'll probably end up doing that. Champions League's a little bit more difficult, but you'll probably end up doing that. But it is fascinating, and they still say he's still on the short list. Ange's liked Conor Gallagher since day one. He's very much appreciated at Spurs. He's on the list, and it's not going to go away until he either signs a new deal or leaves to go elsewhere. It's not going to go away. So there's that. Right, I want to talk a little bit about well, when someone goes, I've got some good news and bad news, you always go, give me the bad news first, because the good news always makes up for it. Bad news, let me start with that first. Bad news is Destiny Udogie had surgery. We believe it was either yesterday or the day before. I saw it yesterday, it came out. And he is done for the rest of the season. He had a surgery on his quadricep that he injured in training earlier this week. He'll also, unfortunately for Destiny, as much as we sit here and go, Spurs, 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 for him, he does also miss the Euros with Italy. So I do feel for Destiny. He's been fantastic this year. He's been their best left back in the league, and I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. But doesn't this show that backup is so important? I think over the next, few games that we got to the end of the season, this is now going to show us, right, Destiny's great. We love Destiny. We think we've got an absolute rock star at left back. But we've got nobody sitting really behind him. And I want someone to sit behind him. I want a actual left back. Because people talking about, let's play Mickey at left back and things like that. I'm like, this season, yeah, all right. I can understand people saying that, and you want to say Ben Davies, and people said Ryan Sessegnon and things like that. I want to get a new left back in the summer. I want Destiny to be able to have games off in the week and things like that, because he's going to be missing now Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. He's missing a lot of big games. So if this doesn't, this now leading into the end of this window, if this doesn't tell Ange and the guys and the higher ups we need a new left back, I don't know whatever will tell them that what they're going to need one, because this is going to be evident. When we didn't have Destiny earlier on the season, we weren't as good. We're not going to be as good now. So there's that. But let's finish on a little bit of good news on Pedro Porro. They basically have said that they're assessing his injury, but they are hopeful that he'll be fit and raring to play against Arsenal next weekend. So that's a little bit of good news. Hopefully he is okay. Hopefully he will play. We're going to be going into the game not at full strength. We seem to pick up more injuries just not playing than Arsenal do playing, which I think is impressive. Fair play to them. Their medical team evidently doing something well. But for us, look, it's one of those difficult ones. This is always going to be a regime and a new style that was a new sort of course and path that was going to take time. We can't sign 25 players in one summer. This is always going to take multiple windows, and this shows. Shows we still need a backup left back. We're probably still going to need a backup right back. We still need a backup goalkeeper, depending on what happens with Austin and so on. We still need a centre back. We still need a 6. Probably could do with a cam, especially if Lo Celso moves on. We need a winger. We need a striker. And I've rattled off 7 or 8 there, just off top of my head. There's probably more. So look, it's not all doom and gloom. The world is okay. The sun will rise another day. I mean, we're in the UK. You may not see it for another day or two, but it will rise. Don't worry. Anyway, that's the end of it. I hope you enjoyed. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section your thoughts and feelings about the Destiny Udogie injury and what you think that. Well, do you think we need another left back in the summer? Obviously, your thoughts and feelings are good news about Pedro Porro there. Obviously, Conor Gallagher's wage demands. I want to know your thoughts and feelings, because we've never really spoken about that. I want to know your thoughts and feelings about that. As well as that, as a bit of Brandon Austin contract extension talk. So plenty to talk to me about. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. There you guys, end the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.